and instructional strategies in education. We will see how they contribute in identifying students' needs, setting learning objectives, adapting and differentiating instruction, assessing curriculum effectiveness. So the conclusion for this part is measurement and evaluation serves as essential tools in education, providing educators with valuable insights into student learning, instructional effectiveness, and overall educational quality. By understanding the role of measurement and evaluation in education, educators can enhance teaching practices, improve student outcomes, and contribute to continuous educational improvement. Now we will move on to the next topic. Over to you, Sanji.
Thank you, Salma. Good evening, madam and my dear friends. My topic is different evaluation method in 3 domains. As we know, there are 3 domains, cognitive domain, effective domain, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain, we evaluate knowledge, effective domain, attitudes, and psychomotor domain, we evaluate skills. Today, I'm going to talk about evaluation method in cognitive domain. Under this, we talk about knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, and synthesis, evaluation. So my question is, what are the evaluation methods that can be used in cognitive level? Actually, there are 2 tests in cognitive level, oral test and written test. Oral test, teacher can ask questions from the students. Actually, frequency, teacher can ask the question. In written test, there are 2 types of written test: selection types, supply types. Selection types, actually, we can use MCQ, alternative responses, matching items. Supply types, we can use essay types, short answers, and structures. Knowledge, comprehension, application is called lower order cognitive skill. Analysis, synthesis, evaluation called higher order cognitive skills. Selection type test is appropriate to measure the lower level cognitive skill, as well as the supply test is appropriate to measure the higher order cognitive skill. There are 2 types of assessment in cognitive domain: formative and summative. Formative assessment means during the lesson, teacher can ask question, and teacher can evaluate the child. In summative assessment, teacher can assess the child after the lesson, whether they have understood. The teacher can group the children, and teacher can ask question after the lesson. Finally, I would like to say, in cognitive assessment, we can use both formative and summative assessment. Thank you very much. Next, I invite my colleague.
Okay, thank you, Sanji. Good evening, everyone. I'm Maheshika Dilukshi, and my topic is classroom test and the factors that teachers should consider when organizing the classroom test. I think Sanji described it well under second topic. Then I briefly describe it. Types of tests. We have many types of tests like achievement test, diagnostic, and language aptitude, like that. Especially we use achievement test and diagnostic test within the classroom. Achievement test we can divide into 2 formative and summative. Under second topic, she described it well. So these are the some examples for classroom test: multiple choice test, matching test, true false test, like that. So I'm going to my next topic. Factors teachers should concern when organizing a test. As a teacher, we should concern about 3 stages when organizing a test. They are before test, while test, and after test. So when we considering these 3 stages, there are some factors we should consider. So I have selected some of them. First one is objects and criteria. When we before we organizing a test, we should have clear understand about the objectives which we are going to measure in our test. So we have to align them, and then after we can organize our test. Next one is plan and prepare testing activity. Planning activity should be suitable to testing content and objectives. First, we have already aligned the objectives. Then we can plan our activities according to our objectives and content we are going to measure through our test. Then choose the appropriate testing methods and techniques. First, we have considered about our objectives and activity. Then we can consider about what kind of methods, what kind of techniques we are going to use for our test. As an example, when we want to do an oral test, we can use many techniques like role play, debate. So we can decide it according to the student's level, their standards. So we can plan our test according to that techniques. So when we considering all those things, we should consider about our class size and atmosphere, because before we are going to implementing our test, we should consider about our class size. It means how many students are there. So how many is there enough space to conduct our test like that? We should consider about that. Next one, monitoring test. While going on the test, we have to monitor the test. Before we conduct the test, we have, as the teacher, we have to give clear instructions, clear guidance to students. We have to explain the process of the test. If not, they will confuse and they can't go to expected level of the test. Last one is review and improving test. After the test, we have to take a review on our test. We have to check their level. We have to analyze their marks. Then we can make our own words process upon that review. Instead of these facts, we have to consider time allocation at students level also, because each and every test we have to allocate some time, and we have to consider about the students level also. As a teacher, we know about our students level, so according to that we can prepare our test. That's all about my presentation. So next, Afra will continue the presentation. Afra.
Hello everyone. As we all know, and my name is Afram Nawaz. As we all know, in child-centered education, the students are taught and evaluated in based on three domains. So the teachers find some difficulties in measuring when it comes to the evaluation, when it comes to implementing these evaluation methods. So I have pinpointed four basic ones, such as the time management, learning objectives, the diverse needs of the students, and the quality of the evaluation. Vaishni? So some evaluation methods can be time consuming, regardless to our Sri Lankan curriculum, and also and the large number of students which cannot be evaluated and relied the same test inside the same timing. So next one is the creating assessment methods that meets the learning objectives and align with the curriculum standards. Then it should and the teacher should have sufficient knowledge and experience and the new upgraded resources to implement the authentic assessment in students. And also issuing using methods of evaluations. The same method is used for the all the students, which as we all know, children learn in different styles and they have different strengths and weaknesses. So, and some children are having learning difficulties and disabilities. So all these students are evaluated in the same method. The test results cannot be reliable. So it should be included in inclusion team, which is unfortunately not available in our country. So these are the factors that I found as a challenging for the teacher to implement the evaluation methods. That's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, then group number 6.
And then group number 3, next slide. Madam, can you hear me?
Yes, you are from group number
3, madam.
Okay. In group number, excuse me, in group number 7, only 4 students are presented.
Yes, ma'am. One group member is absent.
Okay, okay. Okay, then start.
Can you see this, madam?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We are group number 3. I am Fatima Jasmine. My topic is role of measurement and evaluation in education. This is the content of our presentation. My topic is role of measurement and evaluation in education. First of all, we'll discuss what is measurement and evaluation. Measurement is the process of quantifying individuals' achievement, personality, attributes, habits, and skills. It is limited to the quantitative description of an attribute, that is, it represents the objective aspects of evaluation, and the measurement takes place when a test is given and score is obtained. Next, we'll move to evaluation. What is evaluation? It is a systematic examination of education and social programs. It means it is the process of determining the extent to which objectives are being achieved, the effectiveness of the learning experiences provided in the classroom, and how well the goals of education have been accomplished. Next, let's move to the role of measurement and evaluation in education. Yeah, the next slide, please. Hello. Third slide. Role of measurement and evaluation in education. Here are some key reasons highlighting their roles and importance. First one is to assess the learning outcomes. Measurement and evaluation help assess the students' knowledge, skills, and competencies. This will help educators identify areas of strength and areas that require further attention. Next is to give feedback and improvement. Through measurement and evaluation, students receive feedback on their performance and progress. It helps them understand their strengths and weaknesses and identify areas for improvement and set goals for further learning. Next is reliability and quality assurance. They serve as a means of accountability for educational institutions and promoting quality education. Evaluation results can inform decisions about resource allocation, curriculum development, and educational reform. Next is to data-driven decision making. It may provide data-driven insights that support evidence-based decision making in education. They help educators identify effective teaching methods, instructional materials, and interventions. Next is to monitor the progress and development. Measurement and evaluation allow for ongoing monitoring of student progress and growth over time. They enable educators to track individual student development and identify patterns of progress. Last one is for research and policy development. It contributes to educational research and policy development. By studying evaluation results, researchers can gain insights into effective teaching practices, learning outcomes, and factors influencing educational success. Overall, measurement and evaluation play an important role in education as they provide valuable information and insight about students' learning progress, instructional effectiveness, and overall educational quality. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, I'm going to discuss about different evaluation methods in 3 domains. As you can see, what are the domains of learning? The domains of learning are a series of learning objectives created in 1956 by educational psychologist Dr. Benjamin Bloom. And there are 3 domains of learning: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. First one is cognitive domain. The cognitive domain involves knowledge and the development of intellectual skills. And we can see evaluation methods of cognitive domain. First one is oral test. Oral test, we can see, we can divide it into 2 parts. Those are formal and informal. Formal oral tests are pre-planned, and also it can assess using formative and summative methods. Also, informal tests are unplanned. In here, teacher asks questions according to the situation. And also, next one you can see written test. Same as oral test, written test also can be divided into 2 parts. First one is supply type, selection type, and first one is supply type. And also it can also divide it into 2 parts: short answer and extended answer. Here, when it comes to short answer, here we are using simple language. Also, exact answer can be given. And also when it comes to extended answer, that means essay type answer, the students have freedom to write their own answers. And also next one is selection type. In this type, first one is matching variety. When it comes to matching variety, it measures simple knowledge. And also second one is 2 alternatives, and it also a large subject can be covered. And also third one is MCQ variety. Here student can choose answers. And also in this slide you can see 6 major categories. I'm not going to explain this one because our topic is methods, evaluation methods. So here they are starting from the simplest behavior to the most complex. As you can see, first is the Bloom's one, and the second one is the new classification of Anderson's one. And in here, our third slide, my third slide, affective domain. Affective domain means typically target the awareness and growth in attitudes, emotion, and feelings. And also here you can see the 5 major categories are listed from the simplest behavior to the most complex: receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, and internalizing. And also here we have evaluation method of affective domain. First one is attitude test. You can see Thurston scale. First one, you can see Thurston scale. It is used to quantify the attitude of people being surveyed using a format of agree and disagree statement. In the picture also you can see that one. And also second one, you can see Likert scale. This one is a rating scale used to measure opinions, attitudes, or behavior. It also consists of statement or question followed by a series of 5 or 7 answer statements. There also you can see a picture. And also my next slide is, second evaluation methods here: direct and indirect observation. You can see this one. Here teachers observe students' behavior and interactions during class activities to gauge their attitudes. And also the third one is reflexive journal. And here students are asked to write or discuss their thoughts and feelings about the subjects or task. And the fourth one is personality test. Personality cannot, you also know personality cannot measure directly or for this. And direct and indirect observation is needed here. And also my third domains of learning is psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain refers to the use of motor skills, coordination, and physical movement. And here, as you can see, there are two evaluation methods. First one is authentic assessment, and the second one is performance-based assessment. And here, authentic assessment focuses on students using and applying knowledge and skills in real life settings. That means development of these skills requires practice. And here,
Who is next?
well, ma'am, there are more. Yeah. In here, you can see, yeah, focuses on students using and applying knowledge and skills in real life setting. And also, as an example, a role play of scenario and a real world task you can see as examples. And second one, performance based assessment. Here also you can see requires students to demonstrate or apply their knowledge, skills, and strategies by creating a response or product or doing task. As an example, I put oral presentation and internship. And here, performance-based assessment, it is a method for evaluating students' understanding and progress in performance-based manner. So, other side, you can see that classification. You can see some parts originating, adaptation, complex over response, mechanism, guided response, set, and perception. That's about the learning domains of learning. Next, I would like to invite my next friend.
I'm Shakila Indrashaka Varnasuriya. My topic is uses of basic statistical calculations in educational measurement and evaluation. Let's move into the next slide. Can you share the slide? Can you share the next slide? There are some statistical measures: mean, mode, median, histogram, frequency distribution curves. Let's move on to the next slide. Mean. The mean is equal to sum of all the values in the data set divided by the number of values in the data set. The mean is the average of all numbers. Mean is equal to sum of all data values divided by number of data values. Uses of mean. It will result in an average value. Another example is that if we have to find the average age of a student of class, we have to add the age of individual students present in by sum by the total number of students present in the class. It can be used with both discrete and continuous data. Although its use is most often with continuous data. The mean is equal to the sum of all the values in the data set divided by the number of values in the data set. Let's move on to the next slide. Mean. The mean is equal to the sum of all the values in the data. When all the observations are arranged in ascending or descending order of magnitude, the mid it is used for determining the typical value in problems concerning weights, distribution of wealth, etc. Let's move to the next slide. Can you share the next slide? Mode. The mode is the value of a series.
We can't hear. So what happened, Shakira?
Hello, sorry, ma'am. Mode. The mode is the value of a series which appears most frequently than any other for group data. Uses of mode. Usually the mode is used for examples when scores are not in numerical form. Remember, the mode is telling you that the most common answer is. So modes are good when the data involved are categorical instead of numerical. The most common score among the group represents the mode. To find the mode of your test scores, for examples, you teach would list all your math test scores in order from smallest to largest or from smallest to largest, and then find the number that appears on the list most frequently. Let's move to the next slide. Histogram. In statistics, a histogram is a graphical representation of the distribution of data. It is used to summarize discrete, summarize continuous data, to illustrate the major features, where each bar represents a kind of data. In statistics, the histogram is represented by a set of rectangles adjacent to each other, where each bar represents a kind of data. Let's move on to the next slide. Frequency distribution curves. In statistics, a graph or data set organized to show the frequency of occurrence of each possible outcomes of a repeatable event observed many times. It is the frequency distribution curve. Let's move on to the next slide. Statistics are used to conduct research, to evaluate outcomes, to develop critical thinking, to make informed decisions. Statistics can be used to inquire almost any field of study, to investigate why things happen, when they occur, and whether it is reoccurrence is tested. Mean, median, and mode help to guide you in identifying and better understanding scores. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Don't waste time, hurry up. Who is next?
Yes. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, can hear.
Thank you, sister. I'm Shashika Amarasinghe. I'm going to explain on types of test. Can you share the screen? Yes, thank you, dear. There are 7 types of tests. I will explain you one by one. First one is diagnostic test. In diagnostic test, it measures the knowledge and skills of students. It is used to identify students' strengths and weaknesses in the past and present learning. The second type of proficiency test. Proficiency tests are designed to measure people's ability in a language, whether they have any training in that language or not. IELTS is the best example for the proficiency test. Next one is achievement test. The achievement tests are designed to measure a student's performance in specific academic areas, such as reading comprehension, written or oral expressions, and mathematical compulsions. Next type is aptitude test. Aptitude tests are mainly made to assess intelligence and knowledge. Aptitude tests most commonly consist of numerical reasoning, verbal reasoning, speech, accuracy abilities, and more. For example, musical or athletic talent. Next type is placement test. Placement tests are planned to provide information which will help to place students at the stage of the teaching program most appropriate to their abilities. Next type is personality test. This test is designed for assessing some aspects of an individual's personality. My last one is intelligence test. Intelligence test measures the mental ability of an individual, the ability to judge, comprehend, and reason. And these are the type of tests. Thank you very much. My friend will continue our presentation.
Okay, thank you. Again, I'm doing this one. Madam, can I do this one also? Because our group has only 5 members. Can you hear me?
So still only 4 is present. 4 presented. Fatima,
The
Purnima,
last one is going to
Shakila, and
present
Shashika.
Faika. Faika presenting last one. So this one I'm going to present. Is that okay?
So it means only 4 members are there, no?
5 members are there, madam.
Fatima, Purnima,
Yes.
Shakila, and Shalika.
Faika also there. Faika. These are the members, ma'am.
Shakila, Shashika, Faika. She didn't do, no?
Faika didn't do. Others did, madam. Can I do that one?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to present factors that teachers should concern. Here, first of all, I'm asking, think about your test. Are they just think? Are they reliable, valid, and practical? First of all, you have to think about that one. We'll see. Let's see that what are these. First one is validity. Validity is the extent to which a test measure what is claims to measure. To make a valid test, you must be clear about what you are testing, and also you have to ask one question from yourself. That means, does the test measure what you are trying to measure? You have to ask that question from yourself. And also, second one is reliability. A reliable test means that it should give the same result for similar groups of students and with different people marking. And here also we have a question. That means this one also you have to ask from yourself. That means can the test be scored by different teachers and yield similar results? This one also you have to ask from yourself. And also the last one is practicability. This is an assessment mean that the test is easy to design, easy to administer, and easy to score. This one also we have a question. Can I apply the test within appropriate administrative constraints? And this is the question you have to ask from yourself. And no matter how valid or reliable a test is, it has to be practical. You also know about this one because you all are teachers, I think. That's about it. Now I would like to invite my other friend, Faika, to present other one.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you.
I'm going to present the challenges faced by teachers when implementing evaluation methods with students. Although there are several challenges due to time constraint, I have selected 7 challenges to discuss here. First one is diverse learning styles of students. Students have different learning styles. Therefore, teachers find it difficult to design and assess their ability. The next one is time constraint. If there is a big crowd of students, teachers may be finding it no time to assess or evaluate each student. Next one is lack of access to adequate resources. Lack of technology or materials may be a challenging factor for teachers when evaluating each student. And next one is assessment design. Designing assessments that are fair and valid will be very much complicating to the teachers when they are evaluating. Next one, providing timely and constructive feedback to students. When there is a large crowd, teachers may find it difficult to correct and give feedback to the students. And next challenge will be resistance to change. Students have
practiced all methods. Therefore, they will not resist. They will resist to new evaluation methods, and they will be willing to do all methods as they have practiced earlier. This will be a very big challenge to the teachers. And next one is ensuring assessments that are ethically sound. Teachers should ensure that none of the students are disadvantaged in their particular assessment which they have selected. Therefore, these are some of the challenges that teachers may face when implementing evaluation methods with students. Although there are several challenges, I have selected only these. But not only these are the challenges, there are so many challenges teachers face when they are selecting and implementing evaluation methods. Thank you.
Okay, then next group number 6. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am. Rukaya, can you see the screen?
Yeah, okay.
Wait.
If you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. It's a saying of Lord Kelvin. So to improve us as well as others, measuring is a very important factor. Do you all agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Group 6 is glad to join you all today and excited about today's presentation on measurement and evaluation. In this presentation, we are going to discuss about the following topics. They are the roles of measurement and evaluation, different evaluation method in 3 domains, uses of basic statistical calculation, classroom test and the factors to be considered, and also the challenges that is faced by the teachers when implementing the evaluation method. Let's go ahead with topic 1, which is role of measurement and evaluation. Shafana Azmi.
Thank you, Rukaya. First, we'll see what is meant by evaluation and measurement. Evaluation. According to Ralph Tyler, evaluation is the process of determining to what extent the educational objectives are being realized. He says that what extent the expected goals and objectives are being realized or achieved. We can test using a test, classroom test, assignment, activities, home, classroom activity, etc. to evaluate the students. Next, measurement. The process of obtaining a numerical value with a description in which an individual possesses a particular characteristic, Lin and Miller. Here we can see a numerical value or a digit. For example, Amal obtained 80 marks by solving 8 questions correctly out of 10. Here we can see a 80 marks. It's a numerical value, not only marks. It can be a measuring unit like centimeter, meter, percentage, and so on. Measurement is a baseline of evaluation. Without measurement, it's not possible to evaluate anyone. Next, we'll move to role of evaluation and measurement in education. First, to determine what and how much knowledge have been acquired. Here we can see to which extent the knowledge have been acquired. Next, to determine what and how much values have been implied. How much the numerical values have been implied. Next, to determine what and what extent skills have been acquired. And lastly, to determine teachers' efficiency and strategies used in the classroom to achieve the expected goals and objectives in particular lesson. And the next topic will be discussed by Rashida on different evaluation methods in 3 domains.
Thank you, Shafana. Bloom's taxonomy comprises 3 learning domains. They are cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. Let's go together one by one. Cognitive domain, recall or recognition of knowledge and the development of intellectual abilities and skills is known as cognitive domain. Measurement used in this method, standardized tests like multiple choice, fill in the blanks. And formative assessments, classroom discussion and quizzes. Concept maps. Evaluation methods, grading, assigning a letter or score to them. And teacher observation, evaluating their participation, critical thinking skills, application of knowledge. Next, psychomotor domain. Acquisition of motor skills or some action which requires a neuromuscular coordination is known as psychomotor domain. Measurement methods, performance-based assessments like science experiments, art projects, simulations. Portfolios, videos of presentation, lab reports. Checklists, evaluation methods, teacher observation, like evaluating fine motor skills, gross motor skills, dexterity during a task. Also, peer assessments, self-assessment. Next, affective domain. It is referred as a domain of communication skills or deals with interpersonal relationship. Measurement methods, attitude surveys, like values and beliefs towards the subject or learning experience, open-ended questions, journaling. Evaluation method, teacher observation, like evaluating students' participation, emotional engagement, demonstrating learning behavior. Self-assessments, peer assessments also can be used for evaluation. Next, uses of basic statistical calculation in educational measurement and evaluation will continue by Risna.
Thank you, Rashida. We are looking this topic under the three measures of central tendency, histogram, and the frequency distribution curve. Three measures of central tendency are mode, mean, and median. When we take mode, it is the score in a set of scores which occurs more frequently. That means the score obtained by the most people in the group. In some occasions, all the numbers occur the same amount of item. There we can't find the mode. In some other occasion, more than one number is the most frequent at that time. We can find more than one mode. In the first example, there is no any mode, and in the second one, we can find the number 2 and 6 occur 3 times. So 2 and 6 both are mode here. So we call it a bimode. Mode is the best representative of data. Our next slide is to explain mean, which is more important as a measure of tendency of test marks. To find the mean, we have to add up all the numbers in the series and divide the sum by the number of failures. When we look the below example, we have to add number 3, 2, 10, 5. So the sum is 20. We can divide it by 4 as there are 4 numbers in this series. So the mean here is 5. By using mean, it is easy to understand the arithmetic average even if some of the details of the data are lacking. My last part to describe here is the median. It is the mid value of the given list of data. Here, first of all, we have to arrange the number series to ascending or descending order. Then the number in the middle is the median. If the series is odd number, we can easily find the middle number as the median. If it is even number, we have to add 2 mid numbers and divide them by 2. The first example is there are 7 numbers. We can easily find the fourth number, 6 as the median. The second one, example, as there are 8 numbers, we have to add 4th and 5th, number 7 and 8, and divide them by 2 to find the median as 7.5. Median can be calculated in all distribution. All these measures of central tendency help to represent a brief picture of data. They can be calculated considering a frequency distribution table too. Thank you, madam and friends. Next, Anjana will continue the next part of the same topic, that is histogram.
Thank you, Risna. The next one is histogram. A histogram is a graphical representation showing a visual impression of the distribution of data. It is similar to a vertical bar graph, but histogram shows no gaps between the bars. In a histogram, there is a horizontal axis which represents the class boundaries and a vertical axis which represents frequency histograms. And histograms can display a large amount of data and the frequency of the data values. So how we create a histogram? First, we calculate the frequency density for each class interval, and then using the frequency density and class intervals, we can create suitable vertical and horizontal axes. After that, we can draw bars for each class interval using the frequency density as the height of the bar. These are some examples for histogram. You can see frequency tables as well as the histograms got into the table. Frequency table means the table shows how many times a specific event occurs. So this is the about histogram. The next one is frequency distribution curves. So here the main focus goes to the frequency polygon. Frequency polygon is a special kind of line graph which graphically portrays a frequency distribution. This graph is usually drawn with a histogram, but it can be drawn without a histogram also. This is the steps to draw the polygon. To draw a frequency polygon, a dot is placed above the midpoint of each class interval. This is an example of a frequency polygon with the histogram. So you can see a histogram here very clearly, and the frequency polygon is created with the histogram. And this is the example without a histogram, and there is only the line is marked. As well as these are some other types of frequency distribution curves we can refer. So you can go through these types also and get an idea about that. So the next topic, classroom test and the factors that teachers should concern when organizing the classroom test, will be presented by Naduni.
Okay, thank you, my dear friend. Good evening, madam, and my dear friends. Let's carry on our presentation. Okay, then as teachers, before we start a lesson, we should know about the students' level as well as their knowledge also. It is easy us to carry the classroom. It is my point of view. Then I think this test are the evaluation method, a basic evaluation method. Then a test is a device or technique used to measure the performance, skill level, or knowledge of a learner on a specific subject matter. Not only that, a test is a specific tool or procedure used to draw out or elicit a response from the students in order to gain information. Then let's move to the purpose of classroom test. The first one is identify prior knowledge, identify weaknesses and strength areas. Not only that, help is set in learning goals, motivate students for learning, timely give feedback to learners as well as teachers, check instructional effectiveness, provide learning opportunities, assess the effectiveness of teaching strategy. Then let's move to the types of test. The first one is diagnostic test, proficiency test, achievement test, aptitude test, placement test, personality test, intelligence, and the last one is oral test. Then I'm going to give this chance to my dear friend Fasna to carry this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Nadini. There are several factors, but I think it's better to explain most important factors like validity, reliability, practicability, objectivity, and fairness. Validity is arguably the most important factor for the quality of test, the appropriateness of the measuring instrument to accomplish the expected purpose. It is intended to examine the expected achievement level of the skills, writing, reading, speaking, and listening. There are several ways to estimate the validity of a test, including phase validity, content validity, construct validity, concurrent validity, and predictive validity. Next factor is reliability. It means the consistency of a measurement obtained by using a measurement instrument. There are several techniques constructed by test specialists to measure the reliability of a test, such as test retest method, parallel form method, split half method, and internal consistency method. Next one is practicability. Ability to use a test in a physical and social environment sustained. It is easy to be conducted, easy to score without wasting much time limit or effort. Practicability of the test depends upon administrative ease, scoring ease, interpretative ease, and economy. Next one is objectivity. The test settler having a definite idea about each test item. Objectivity of a test can be increased by using more objective type test. Next one is fairness. Test not being biased to the examinees. It should not be offensive to any examinees subgroups as well. I mean, the exam should be appropriate for all qualified examinees, irrespective of race, religion, gender, or age. Our next topic is challenges faced by teacher when implementing evaluation method with student. It will be continued by my friend Rukaya Wahab. Thank you. Rukaya?
Challenges faced by teachers when implementing evaluation method with students. Thank you, Pazmina. And the time constraints. This is the main problem that we face during implementing the evaluation method. Fitting assessment within the PEC curriculum. We have planned curriculum system in Sri Lanka, and within this PEC curriculum, we have some functions, co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities. Within this, it is a big challenge for the teacher to implement evaluation on time. And also the resource limitation. Lack of access to the technology or materials for alternative assessment. Having to do the class and assessment without the use of TVs, overhead projectors, textbook, and printouts affects the evaluation process. And also the large class sizes. Difficulty in providing individualized feedback and assessment. Due to this large class size, we cannot individually point out the mistake that each student make and correct them. We have to generally point out the mistake that they have made. And the last one is the alignment issue. It is a mismatch between assessment and learning objective. The assessment means what kind of task will be revealed to know the achievement of the student. And the learning objective is what do I want student to know. The conflict between this and the lack of the clarity between this and the misalignment will cause the challenge for the teacher. And also the standardized testing pressure, focus on test scores overshadowing holistic evaluation. In this, there is a test score means which involves assessing different aspects of student performance, and the holistic evaluation means the overall assessing. So if there is a standardized that overshadowing problem, then there will be a challenge for the teacher to implement the evaluation process. And that's all. I hope you all got my point. And measurement is about marking, but evaluation is about improving. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Thank you.
Then group number 4.
Yes, ma'am. Can you view the screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, let's continue.
This group number 4, education, measurement, and evaluation. First one is share the screen.
Your name, please.
Nalaka Prasad. Role of measurement and evaluation in education. Different evaluation methods in 3 domains. Yes, role of measurement and evaluation in education. Different evaluation methods in 3 domains. Uses of basic statistical calculations such as mode, median, mean, histogram, and frequency distribution curves in educational measurement and evaluations. Classroom test and factors that teachers should consider when organizing the classroom test. Challenges faced by the teachers when implementing evaluation methods with students. Next slide. What is measurement and evaluation in education? The process of quantifying individuals' achievement, personality, attributes, habits, and skills. Smith-Stevens views is 1946. The measurement consists of the assignment of numbers of objects according to content rules for assigning numbers to objects. There are various forms of scales of measurement. Next slide. Role of measurement and evaluation in education. The objects of the educational measurement and evaluations are to find out the student's achievement and motivate to learn, identify the strength and weakness of the learner, discuss the tools and techniques of educate cognitive skills, psychomotor skills, and effective skills. Thank you very much. I invite other members.
Good evening, all of you, honorable lecturer and my dear colleagues. My topic is different, I am Mohammed Shafiq, different evaluation methods in 3 domains. In the question, we see the content words as evaluation and 3 domains. So first of all, I would like to explain evaluation. Evaluation means analyze and interpret the collected data. Collected data means from in the classroom, we do test, assessments, sometimes measurements. So, and this makes a judgment about the students' performance, learning outcomes, and the effectiveness of instructional practice. Therefore, we can say it goes beyond all the other testing systems from the classroom. When we come to the evaluation types, we can see placement test in the classroom and also formative, diagnostic, and summative test also. In all these test types, we find merits and demerits also. And also, we can find from the cognitive domain some achievement tests are also shown. Here also, some classifications are there. In the cognitive domain, we find some levels from 1 to 6. In the old evaluation is on the top, but in the new one, creating is on the top is shown. And other test types we come to see, there are some written tests. Some written tests are supplied items and some are selection items. So there are, we can see short answer questions, extended answer questions also. And then in the selection type, we see matching types and sometimes 2 alternatives are given and MCQ questions also there. When we talk about the affective domain, qualities such as attitudes, good properties, virtues, habits, and rich existing good personality, and that is developed in the students due to the fact that techniques used in the teaching and the teachers' activities shown in this affective domain. To bring all these qualities or the virtues, these 5 levels are shown. For example, receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterizations are there. These were developed by D.R. Kradwal. And then when we move on to some other testing types. Reference evaluations are shown, norm and evaluation, criterion, reference evaluations also there. Ipsative reference evaluations are also there. When we go on to the psychomotor domain, we can see the special feature as physical involvement. For example, if the student is taught to present a speech, finally the student make a speech using the good pronunciation, good set of vocabulary, and the facial expression and hand gestures and all these things. So we can find the physical involvement in this psychomotor domain. So here also, Dave Kibler's Simpsons, he has shown about 7 levels. But when we look at these things, we see all the 3 domains are not completely separate. So we can see in the slide also, all these 3 slides are in one circle divided into 3 parts, but therefore the last physical domain, we can say it is comes to hand. The cognitive domain goes to the head, and the affective domain goes to the heart, and then the final one, psychomotor, is goes to hand. We can explain like that. Thank you very much for listening to me patiently. I invite my next partner to continue.
Next.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Fiona Cleani.
Okay.
My topic is uses of basic statistical calculations such as mode, median, and mean in educational measurement and evaluation. Under the topic, there are 3 measures of central tendency, and also these are different types of averages from a data set. So, first I'm going to explain you about mode. Mode is a score in a set of scores which occurs more frequently. It means mode is the most frequent value or the value that appears the most often. Here there is an example. Here are the scores obtained by 10 students for English. So 3 students have get 20 marks. Then it would be more clear by arranging the scores according to the descending order. So mode is the most appears value. Then next I will explain you about median. The median is the middle value. When a data set is ordered from highest to lowest, the middle value is the median. The place where divides equally into 2 parts is median. Here, first we should arrange the data in order. Then the middle value is the median. After that, then next I will explain you about mean. Mean is the average of a data set. It can be calculated by adding up all of the numbers in the data set and then dividing by the total number of value in the set. Mean represent every mark. Simply, mean is the sum of all values divided by the total number of values. And also, it is referred as the arithmetic average. Thank you. And next, I invite my friend to continue the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Fiona. I'm Ravindika Gimhane. In this slide, I'm going to discuss about uses of basic statistical calculation, histograms, and frequency distribution curves in educational measurements and evaluation. A frequency distribution is a 2-column list that describes a set of scores in a concise and systematic manner. 1-column lists all possible scores in the set from highest to lowest, and the other column, the frequency column, shows the number of examines that obtain each score. In educational measurements and evaluation, this describes of scores is a useful visual aid for identifying the relative position in the group of any one student and for obtaining a picture of any one student and for obtaining a picture of overall group performance at a glance. The information summarized by a frequency distribution also can be represented pictorial by a frequency curve or a histogram. Let's move to the next slide. These are the usages that we can have by using histograms and frequency distribution for the educational measurements and evaluations. As a visual tool, frequency distribution makes it simpler to spot and explain trends and pattern of score obtained by students for exam. This is very useful thing that we can have by using histograms and frequency distribution. As well as frequency distribution shows the number of students who received various scores on a particular exam. This is also very useful as we can have clear idea which marks those students have taken and which score is the lowest, which is the median and the highest score. It can be have like when we have like these frequency distributions, and it is useful for comparing different scores sets for or as analyzing the distribution of data within a set. We want to analyze after having an example exams. We want to have some analysis. What is the average of a particular students, how they achieve, and how should be in the next term. Likewise, in several exams, we can have these frequency distributions to analyze these things. And also, histograms are the one of the most frequently used method for charting historical data. As I told you earlier, while we having histograms, these methods we can have just like a chart, but we can have clear idea the improvements or else we can see where the errors, the mistakes they have done, and we have to correct them. So the historical histograms and these frequency distributions are very useful. And also, histograms are the one of the most frequently used methods for charting historical data and to check whether the process changes from one period to another. To have some changes, whether we want to say have some changes or we want to continue, we can have clear idea while we having these frequency distributions or histograms. In orderly, we can conclude that frequency curves and histograms are equally useful for describing a set of test scores efficiently in educational measurements and evaluation. That's all. Now I give the chance to my friend Shakira.
Yes, thank you, my friend. Now we are here to discuss about the classroom test and the factors that teachers should concern when organizing the classroom test. Well, as we all know, a test is an assessment administered by a teacher to measure students' understanding of material covered in a class. So there may be several reasons why a classroom test is being conducted. For example, we can say it is to determine the extent that students are achieving the stated goal, whether to know they have achieved the stated goal. And next, to assign grades, to determine final grade promotion decision. And moreover, we can say to motivate students to study and to identify areas of deficiency in need of remediation or further learning, and to identify a more efficient or effective way in which to teach. So these are few purposes why a classroom test is conducted. So next we'll move on to see the types of classroom test.
Arya.
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute. The internet is being slow.
Yes.
Yes, I think you can see the screen. So as a teacher, we can conduct a classroom test on 3 domains, that is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Now you can see the classification what I have put here. And since the time is not permitting us, I'll try to explain only the few tests. So let's see on cognitive test. Cognitive test, which typically assess various aspects of mental abilities and skills such as knowledge, comprehensions, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. These cognitive tests can be categorized into 2 as oral test, which includes a formal oral test and informal oral test. On the other hand, which is on the other hand, we can say it is a written test where it is further divided into 2 as supply test and selection type test. So supply test means this is where the students respond by providing an answer. So it can be either short answer type or extended answer type. And in case of selection type questions, where the students are asked to choose the correct answer from the set of options provided. So as we all know, that can be matching variety to alternative variety or MCQ. So all these tests have advantages as well as limitation. As a teacher, it is our duty to select the appropriate test type when we want to achieve our stated goals. So you can go through the tests which are there in affective domain and psychomotor domain. So since the time is not letting us, I am moving to the next slide. That is also an important section where we need to consider on the factors that we need to consider when planning a classroom test. Right. To make our classroom test valid, reliable, and practicability, definitely we need to consider these factors. So first we'll see that is objective. Here, you need to ensure that test align with the learning objective of the course. Otherwise, there is no point of conducting the test. And next, format. Here we need to decide on the type of test. Are we going to do an MCQ or an essay or a short answer? So this may be based on the learning outcomes that the teacher want to assess. And the third is timing. Here, we need to determine the duration of a test, considering the complexity of question and the time needed for the student to complete it. And fourth, an important factor that is instruction. Clearly communicate the instruction, including any materials allowed. For example, whether they can use calculators or they can refer notes. And the other thing is, and the consequence of academic dishonesty. Right. And the fourth factor, we can say accessibility. What do you mean by that? Make accommodations for students with special needs, such as an extra time or distraction-free environment. And an important factor is fairness. A test that is fair by converting materials taught, avoiding biased questions, and providing an appropriate level of difficulty. And next, security. Here we need to take measures to prevent cheating. We all know that. And next, the feedback. Plan how the to students after the test, either through grades or comments or review session. And the other factor is the scoring. Here, we need to establish a clear grading rubric for evaluation to evaluate the students. And the reflection, the final factor, the reflection, reflect on the after it is consider the students' performance and feedback to future assessment. So it's our duty to consider all these factors and prepare test. Thank you. I am Shakira Muhammad Niaz Fatima Shakira. I give this opportunity to my friend.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear, ma'am?
Yes.
I am Ruzla Romi. Can you share the slide? I'm here to do the challenges faced by teachers when implementing evaluation method with students. Teachers often encounter several challenges when implementing evaluation method with students. I'm going to discuss about the main challenges faced by the teachers. First one, diverse learning needs. In sense, students have varying learning styles, abilities, and needs, and making it challenging to design evaluation method that effectively assess all students fairly. Next one is time constraints. Time constraint means time limitation. Teachers may have limited time to create and implement the evaluation methods. The other one, resource limitation. Resource limitation means technology uses. That means using of new technology materials, technology equipments, and ideas. When implementing a new technology materials, teacher may face more challenges in classrooms. Next one, assessment validity and reliability. Other one, students engagement and motivation. Maintaining student interest and motivation during assessment can be difficult. Next slide please. Can you share the next slide? Next one is feedback provision. In classroom, it is a main duty for a teacher to provide a meaningful feedback. So this is also a challenge. Next one is a cultural and linguistic diversity. In a classroom, there are students with different types of cultural attitudes. So it is the duty to ensure the fairness and inclusivity of those students. It is a big challenge for a teacher. So next one is ethical consideration. Next one, technology integration. Next one is resistance to change. That means normally students are mainly touched with traditional systems, traditional assessment methods. When introducing new measurement and evaluation method, they may face a lot of difficulties. So to handle this, teachers face many challenges. So this is also a main challenge faced by a teacher. Next one is lack of proper assessment instruments and rubrics. Next one. Next, I am going to conclude this one. For the conclusion, let's see the summary. In our presentation, we talked about role of measurement and evaluation in education. That means it is very useful for teachers and students in education to check academics or the level of learners' ability. And it is to motivate them to learn, identify the strength and weakness of learners. Next, we discussed about three main domains in evaluation method. They are cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domain. Next, the thing is in evaluation method, we uses main basic statistical calculations. They are like mode, median, mean, histograms, and frequency distribution curves. They are used to compare the scores of subject knowledge of each student, and it is helpful to differentiate each students by their performance. Next one is we discussed about classroom test. It is also plays a main role in evaluation method. Tests are relevant to the teacher's objectives, and it is used to identify the areas where students need further learning, and teachers can motivate them and improve their knowledge and learning abilities. Last one is teachers implement evaluation method with students during teaching learning process to make the learning process more easier. But this is measurement and evaluation methods are new technological methods, so teachers face a lot of challenges to introduce these methods in classrooms. That's all we discussed today. I think hope you all understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much, madam, for this opportunities. Madam, excuse me.
Yes.
For your kind consideration, ma'am, we have 7 members in our group, but unfortunately, one member we didn't join, and we were not able to contact her even. So only we 6 presented, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
These are the
Yes,
members.
I marked it.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Then group number 5.
Okay, can you see?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, respectable madam and my dear colleagues, good evening everyone. Today we are here to do our group presentation on educational measurement and evaluation. So today I'm here to talk about the role of measurement and evaluation in education. So first of all, we'll look what is measurement and evaluation. Measurement is the process of quantifying individual achievements, personality, attribute, habit, and skills. As well, according to Tyler, evaluation is a systematic process of determining to what extent the educational objectives are achieved by pupils. So in education, evaluation is the process of using the measurements gathered in the assessment. So through using those information, we can judge the relationship between what was intended by the instruction and what was learned. For example, how far the students have progressed. So measurement and evaluation play a vital role in education as it contribute to effective teaching learning process and student development. So now let's look into their significance. First of all, to assess students' learning outcome. It means that measurement and evaluation helps to assess students' knowledge, skill, and competencies, which determine whether students have achieved the desired learning outcome and educational objective. Second one, to give feedback and improvement on students' performance and progress, which means that this helps them understand their strengths and weaknesses. Third one, to promote quality education, which related to that, by assessing the educational program and policies, we can inform decisions about resource allocation, curriculum development, and educational reforms. Further, fourth one, to monitor progress and growth. This says us that measurement and evaluation allow for ongoing monitoring of student progress and growth over time, and this will lead the educators to track individual student development and to ensure that all students are making satisfactory progress. And the fifth one, to contribute to educational research and policy development. And then last, to make education goals clear. So in conclusion, I would like to say that measurement evaluation are essential component of education as they provide information about student learning progress. So I will let call upon my friend to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I am Nadika Samankumari.
My topic is different evaluation methods in 3 domains. According to the Bloom's classification, there are 3 domains of learning. There are cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. Cognitive domain represents thoughts or what to think. Affective domain represents emotions or what to feel. Psychomotor domain represent behavior or what to do. Please, next slide. First one is cognitive domain. Cognitive domain is focused on intellectual skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and creating a knowledge base. According to the Bloom's classification, we can find 6 skills such as knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. We can identify 2 evaluation methods in cognitive domain. They are oral test and written test. Oral test can be divided as 2 parts. First one is formal oral tests. Second one is informal oral tests. Formal oral test means pre-planned oral tests. Informal oral test means unplanned oral tests. Written test can be divided as 2 parts. They are supply type and selection type. There are 2 types of supply type, short answer variety and extended answer variety. And there are 3 types of selection type. They are matching variety, 2 alternatives variety, and MCQ variety. Next slide, please. Second one is affective domain. Affective domains involves feelings, attitudes, and emotions. It includes the ways in which people deal with external and internal phenomena emotionally, such as values, enthusiasms, and motivations. And we can find 6 categories under affective domain. They are receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. Under affective domain, we can identify these evaluation methods. First one is attitude tests. Attitude testing is done to measure people's attitudes. And second one is direct and indirect observation. Direct observation involves watching and taking note of a person's behavior or physical traits. And indirect observation relies on the reporting of others. Next part will explain my friend Himaya.
Thank you very much. Good evening all. I am Himaya Hettiarachchi and I am going to continue the same slide from Reflexive Journal. Reflexive journal is a meaning of record ideas, personal thoughts and experiences, as well as reflection and insight a student have in a learning process of a course. Basically, there are 2 standard form of reflexive journal. First one is structured journal. On the other hand is unstructured journal. In structured journal, students are given a specific sections, target or set a guidelines to base their writings on. Unstructured journal, students are required to record thoughts and feeling with minimal directions. Fourth one is performance file. The affective domain personality refers to an individual's emotional and attitudinal characteristics as well as their values, beliefs, motivation, and interpersonal behaviors. It encompasses aspects of behavior, personality that are related to emotional attitude and values, shaping how the person perceives and interacts with the world around them. Fifth one is personality traits. Its mean reflect personal characteristics, patterns of thoughts, feeling, and behavior. Then I'm going to discuss about the different evaluation method in psychomotor domain. The psychomotor domain includes physical movement, coordinating and use of motor skills areas. Development of these skills requires practice and measures in terms of speed, distance, procedure, and techniques in execution. There are two types of evaluation method in this domain. First one is authentic assessment. It focuses on student using and applying knowledge and skill in a real life settings. Example, you might have student take part in a simulation or role play of scenario. Completion of real world task. Assessment is in a workplace settings. Next one is performance-based assessment. It requires students to demonstrate or apply their knowledge, skills, and strategies by creating a response or product or doing tasks. Oral presentation, role playing, group discussion example for this. Thank you very much. I cordially invite next member to continue the presentation.
I am Gayani Sivanathan. My topic is third, uses of basic statistical calculations such as mode, median, and mean part. Mean, median, and mode are fundamental measures of central tendency in assessment, and their definition significant in educational measurement.
We can't hear you.
Okay, madam, then shall I continue my part? Next member. Okay, thank you, friend. My topic is fourth question. Halima, can you take the slide? Right, fourth question is classroom test and the factors that teachers should concern when organizing the classroom test. So here I would like to discuss about the factors that teachers should concern when organizing each of these classroom tests. Here, through this slide, you can see the classification of test items in cognitive domain. So the first we will discuss about oral test. When conducting formal oral test, a teacher should concern about objectives. These types of tests are pre-planned tests, so teachers should clearly define the purpose of the oral test and what skills or knowledge that she wants to assess it. And also, teacher should allocate sufficient time for each student. And he or she must ensure the fairness by providing equal opportunities for all the students. The next important thing is for the formal oral test, teachers should select a suitable location that is free from distraction to conduct the test. And it is must to provide constructive feedback to the students afterward. Now, let's move to next slide. The next type is written test. Let's move to next slide. Okay, this is written test. This is the classification of it. Here, you can see the classification of written test. First, we will discuss about supply type short answer variety. It is on next slide, Halima. Let's move to next slide. In this type test, questions are in two patterns. One is question type and the other one is filling the blanks. In this type of question, guessing is less. Mostly this type is more appropriate to primary classes as it measures the simple knowledge. But here it is difficult to measure students' complex thinking ability. When organizing this type of test, teachers should use simple language and words. Also have to keep sufficient space for the answer. An important thing is, it is not appropriate to extract sentences from the book. Now let's see extended answer variety. Two types are there, essay and structured type. Let's move to next slide. Here students have freedom to present their answer. But sometimes students may perceive the question in wrong way. So when conducting this type of test, teachers should use definite verbs. And it is better to plan the test using table of specification and also keeping model answers in marking scripts. Let's move to next slide. My next slide is about selection type. Under this type, we will see about matching variety. This type measures simple knowledge. In this type of test, teachers should concern about the size of the list of the stimulus and responses. It means number of responses must be greater than at least one. Also, it should be prevented by writing long sentences. Next type is two alternative variety. When preparing this type of test questions, teachers should avoid extracting facts directly from textbooks because it creates mistakes in the question. Let's move to next slide. And next, this one is about MCQ type test. There are several question patterns. You can see them through the slide. When constructing this type of questions, simple and authentic words should be used. And also unnecessary statements, expressions should not be included to the same. So here I discussed about few classroom tests and the factors that should be followed by a teacher when organizing these tests. Next slide will be continued by my group member. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rashmi Alves. Ninth slide, please. My topics are histogram and frequency, histograms and frequency distribution curves.
Excuse me, tell me your name.
I'm Rashmi Alves, madam.
Previous one, madam, my name is Mushrifa, Fatima Mushrifa.
Okay.
A histogram is the most commonly used graph to show frequency distributions. It looks very much like a bar chart, how there are important differences between them. So when to use a histogram, we can use a histogram when the data are numerical, who want to see the shapes of the data's distribution, especially when determining whether the output of a process is distributed approximately normally, or analyzing whether a process can meet the customer's requirements, analyzing what the output from a supplier process looks like, or seeing whether a process change has occurred from one time period to another. Next slide, please. Frequency distribution curves. Frequency distribution provides an overview of the entire group of schools, making it easy to see the general level of performance for each type of sentence. A frequency distribution is an organized tabulation of the number of individuals located in each category on the scale of measurement. It can be measured either as a table or as a graph, but in either case, the distribution presents the same two elements. First one is the set of categories that make up the order measurement scale. The second one is a record of the frequency or number of individuals in each category. So thank you. I would like to give the chance to
Please your mic, Gayani. Who is next?
Gayani, please do it.
Who is next?
Good evening, all of you. Madam, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear.
Here, I'm Lakmini here, madam. My topic is challenges faced by teachers when implementing evaluation methods. Here, all of you know what is evaluation. Evaluation is a process which examines the way of achieving the goals and objectives systematically. There are four basic concepts: assessments, tests, measurements, and evaluation. Here I have found some challenges when giving marks to the students by teachers. Most of challenges was discussed by the groups here. Here I have found 5 challenges. That means halo effect, horn effect, leniency effect, recency effect, and written comment problem. First one is halo effect. It is positive impression that leads us to treat someone more favorable. Horn effect means negative impression that leads us to treat someone less favorable. Leniency error means psychological concept that refers to the tendency of individuals to rate others more positively than they deserve. Recency error means the teacher's tendency to allow more recent incident, either effective or ineffective, of students' behavior to have too much bearing on evaluation. Written comment problem means comments written on the student's paper should be a simply means to justify grades. That purpose should be secondary to helping the students improve their writing skills. This is the end of our presentation here. We are group number 5. Thank you, all of you.
Okay, then are there anyone who is going to present? Group number 8, 9.
Group number 8, they presented, madam.
Yes, 8 presented. Then group number 9. Are there anyone in other groups who did not do until then?
Madam, I will proceed my one. I am in group number 10.
Group number 10?
Yes.
10 means you are from 2023 group.
Yes, ma'am.
So who put you into group number 10? In the campus? From the campus?
No, it's by you. There were only 2 girls from another campus once I
okay.
told.
Yes. Okay. Now I
Okay.
can remember. Okay, do your.
Okay. Can you see the screen, madam?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, good evening. I am Shara. This is my presentation is about challenges faced by teachers when implementing evaluation methods with students. There may have so many challenges that teachers personally and commonly faced. It depends with the teachers. Here I have mentioned some few reasons. The first one is I have taken diverse learning needs. That means designing evaluation methods that cater to diverse learning needs can be challenging. That means, as an example, a teacher may struggle to assess the understanding of complex concepts among students with varying level of proficiency in the same classroom, because there may be super talented students, maybe lower talented students. So there may be various level of proficiency in the same classroom with different intelligence level. As the second one, I have taken large class sizes. Teachers with large class sizes may find it difficult to provide timely and personalized feedback to each student. Because as an English teacher, I have difficulty providing an individualized feedback on essays in a class of many students, and I have difficulty leading to generalized comments that may not effectively address each students' specific strength and weakness. Sometimes I feel really guilty at the end of the classes. I ask myself, could I do my level best for my students? Could I cooperate with them properly? Sometimes I feel like that. Maybe I'm surely I'll contact them through any other way, like WhatsApp or something. After that, I'll advise them. I'll tell their strength and weakness, or anyhow I speak up with them. So I'm also one of the teachers who faced this same challenge. Next one, limited resources. Teachers may face constraints in assessing resources necessary for implementing diverse evaluation methods. Just think, a teacher in a rural school with limited access to technology may find it challenging to incorporate online assessment or multimedia projects like that. As the last one, I have taken resistance to change. That means unwillingness to adapt to new circumstances or way of doing things. Some teachers may be resistant to adopting new evaluation methods due to familiar with traditional assessment practices like that. Anyhow, these challenges highlight the complexity of implementing effective evaluation methods in the classroom and underscore the importance of providing teachers with support, resources, and professional development opportunities to overcome these obstacles. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, then who else? Are there anyone who is willing to? Yes.
There is no one in my group, ma'am. She was absent. I
Yes.
informed you about that. Okay.
Okay, then let's wind up the session. Okay, thank you very much. And those who couldn't do today, I will give you them the chance on 15th April at 7:30 p.m. I'll put it in the group. Okay, thank you very much and good night, everyone.
Thank you.